back during Desert Storm. But even then, he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is, if getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now, 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take a call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Hi, everyone. This is JJ, the co-founder of Good Pods. If you haven't heard of it yet, Good Pods is like Goodreads or Instagram, but for podcasts. It's new, it's social, it's different, and it's growing really fast. There are more than 2 million podcasts, and we know that it is impossible to figure out what to listen to. On Good Pods, you follow your friends and podcasters to see what they like. That is the #1 way to discover new shows and episodes. You can find Good Pods on the web or download the app. Happy listening.
Celebrity designer Jeff Lewis is back with Hollywood House Lift.
I'm excited to be working with new clients.
I'm not getting rid of that.
I hope I never see you both again.
An all-new season.
Those have to go. That has to go.
From oh, wow,
It's been an actual nightmare.
to oh, wow.
This is such an upgrade.
With celebrities like Josh Duhamel, Christina Ricci, and Gina Rodriguez.
Dazzle me, Jeff.
It looks like Chuck E. Cheese.
Stream an all-new season of Hollywood House Lift with Jeff Lewis, now streaming on Freevee.
The following program contains coarse language and adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
I take a breath, I'm not gonna lose. This is what I came here to do.
Keep on doing what you do, Rick. You're my favorite host. Favorite.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
It's time to hear the truth about America's biggest challenges. You're listening to America Off the Rails with your host, Rick Robinson.
Uh-oh, guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody?
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
And welcome into the final act for Chat Lives Matter Night tonight. I'm Rick Robinson. You are listening to us and watching us live on KLRN Radio. Unfortunately, I can't say klrnradio.com because we are arguing with our current domain provider because it's an account we haven't had to look at in 5 years, and I've kind of forgotten all the information associated with it, and they're being cranky. Anyway, so you're catching us now on X, Rumble, YouTube, Facebook, Live 365, and Spreaker. And do we have a lot of things to talk about today? So anyway, this is kind of a makeup episode. I have not been able to do my afternoon show since Monday for various reasons. I'm trying to get a couple of new producers onboarded. I also am trying to get everybody ready for debate night tomorrow night because we're going to do our first ever. It's not our first ever debate roundtable because we've always done it to where we could hear it and then we would comment and everybody would listen. But in this one, everybody's going to get to watch along with us and watch us and listen to us comment. We probably won't have very many cameras on because I'm still getting used to the idea of my ugly mug being on camera, if I'm being completely honest with you. But that's, it's one of those things because it's just how things have to be anymore. As much as I'm not a fan, and I tell everybody I have a face made for radio, and my other camera doesn't seem to be wanting to sync up. So anyway, I'll probably have something disconnected somewhere. So you guys are only going to get the one camera view today. Usually try to give you guys. Yeah, I know. You're only seeing half my face on purpose, bro. Nobody wants to see my whole face. Nobody wants to see my whole face. I have another camera angle, so I'm trying to figure some things out. Because if I give you my whole face, you get to see the panel. And I don't want, until I have something to cover that with, I'm trying to make, anyway. So I'm goofing off with people that are paying attention to me in the chat instead of doing my job. Anyway, so we're here, we're live, and I'll scoot over a little bit since everybody's like, we can only see half your face. Trust me, I'm doing you a favor. There's a reason I usually have my camera off. But anyway, so hope everybody's having a great Wednesday night. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And we've got plenty of things to talk about because there were some shakeups last night. So Lauren Boebert actually, after changing districts, won her primary. So we'll see what happens there. I'm not really holding my breath. I'm just not. Jamal Bowman lost his primary. We may have some footage for that after the break because apparently he's had a couple of tirades today. But there are all kinds of other things that are going on too. So I just kind of, we're going to try to cram 2 hours worth of content into an hour because I didn't do an afternoon show today. So SCOTUS and the Constitution. What the fuck, guys? Just what? Why? Why have you made two of the decisions that I've seen you make? And I get it. Everybody's like, but Rick, they're just trying to make sure that people that have been, accused of spousal abuse, etc., can't have access to firearms. Okay, that is a really slippery slope. And I've been saying that since that decision, because we've all seen how easily folks in New York were able to make up charges against Donald Trump. You can like the guy, you can hate the guy, you can tell me he's Satan. Hell, one of my nicknames for him is Lord Spraytan for a reason. Because I didn't want this. I didn't want what we're going to be watching tomorrow night. I did not want the Cauliflower in Chief versus Lord Spraytan 2.0. I did not want that. I just didn't. It's pretty simple. That was not what I wanted. But here we are. And this is where we are. So now you have to start deciding who's better for the country. Not who's better for your feelings. Not who makes you feel better about yourself. Because you know that you're not going to be doing half the things that you should be doing. So you want your government to do it for you. No, that's not what we're talking about tonight. I mean, we can, if that's what you guys want to talk about. But hey, Al, see you in there. Hey, Andrew. Yeah, you're seeing a little more of my face now. I apologize. At some point, I will actually get the wrinkles out of the snake flag, as everybody calls it, because nobody calls it what it actually is. A snake flag, SNEK, snake. Don't step on snake flag. But anyway, so as we get closer to the election cycle, and as X, Twitter, Jitter, whatever we're calling it today, starts up with their same old shenanigans that they start every election cycle and start throttling people and limiting your reach and all the things they tell us they weren't going to do anymore. But we know they are, because even though Elon Musk said that they're not going to, he put WAF Linda in charge of all the buttons and the switches. And I know Ordy and I disagreed last hour, but I'm going to say this again. Yeah, that was on purpose. I don't know about you guys, but I saw my follower count down by over 200 when I got up today. And that was because there was a mass suspension. I still think somebody's been leaking information from SCOTUS to the folks that matter behind the scenes that can push all the buttons on all the important things. And when they said, well, you know, this person doesn't have standing, so we're not really going to be talking about this today, but we expect to have this case in front of us again sometime soon. And yeah, sure. Anyway, so I see some folks are starting to pile into the chat that we're using on X. So if you are so inclined, you can always join them there. If you guys could do me a favor and retweet that out, because I haven't been able to do that yet. I know. Okay, I'll be nice. Since I'm asking you to retweet it, I'll even call it Twitter. I know some of you hate it when I call it X, but because I haven't been able to do that yet, because I'm trying to do all of these different things, all the buttons and switches and all the things. Okay, so we'll go back over to that one. So let's get some things pulled up here, because I had some notes here somewhere. I think I actually may have lost some of them while I was doing 3 other shows today. So let's talk about this one right first. So this is from, I guess, The Blaze has a lifestyle section now. I was unaware of this. So Arnold Schwarzenegger fans, hang on. Arnold Schwarzenegger's fans to take climate action. This is written by Christian Toto. Sean Penn says wokesters would spoil milk. This is not the Star Wars rap song you're looking for. You first, Arnold. The superstar who once made Hummers cool is now a jacked Greta Thunberg. Arnold Schwarzenegger demanded we take action during a speech at the Austrian World Summit earlier this week. All we care about is action. Talking alone won't save us, but action will. We all share the same vision of a pollution-free world. The Terminator star took plenty of action in his salad days. As California governor, he used a private jet for his commute. His Hummer fleet was legendary for a spell. Now he works in an industry that really... I'm already a subscriber. Why are you making me log in again? You suck. I thought I was logged in already. Why are you being stupid? Let me put in my password so I can finish doing my job. I'm aware of this. Why do you think I'm trying to read the article? So it's telling me now that I already have access. I'm like, duh. The Terminator star took plenty of action in his salad days. As California governor, he used a private jet for his commute. His Hummer fleet was legendary for a spell. Now he works in an industry that tries to be green, but very often can't seal that particular deal. And his climate change screeds never target China for its coal plants or environmental atrocities. So I'm going to go ahead and share you guys part of this article for those of you that are watching on the streams, just so you can kind of keep up, even though I've kind of read through most of it already. But it's just because I want you to kind of see this last part while I'm talking about it. So hang on just a second. And I should have done this on one of the other scenes, but it's all right. So again, I'm going to go into this last part. All we care about is action. Talking alone won't save us, but action will. Now, this is the same guy who they just said, basically, he works in an industry that tries to be green, but very often can't seal that particular deal. And his climate change screeds never target China for its coal plants or environmental atrocities. So this is part of what I want to talk about. Why? Yeah, let me see. Does that work? Curious. Hey, that does work. Haha. Need to figure out how to go full screen with it, but it works. So sorry, I'm testing things out while we're doing this because I'm still learning how some of this stuff works. But anyway, so why does nobody call out China? You guys realize China is like the biggest polluter on the planet, right? This is what drives me crazy with the climate change crowd. This is what drives me crazy with the pollution is killing the planet crowd. This is an enclosed system. Our environment is a completely enclosed system. So no matter how much of our air we scrub, and we really do a good job of it anymore, nobody wants to talk about that. But if you look back, I mean, hell, you can pull up footage from TV shows in the 80s and you see all the smog and all the smoke and all the things that we don't really have anymore in the big cities. Not anywhere to the extent that we used to. But nobody wants to talk about how, because we live on a planet that has an enclosed environmental system, that just because it's not in your backyard doesn't mean there isn't still pollution. So why are we not going after these bigger countries like China and India that are now fully industrializing, and they're the ones that are doing a lot of the polluting now? But nobody cares because it looks good. And we look green and we look clean and nobody cares because it's not in our backyard. This is the other thing that drives me crazy about the whole green energy. We're going to use batteries to power cars bullshit, because it's just nuts. You're talking about overloading an electric grid to make Karen feel better about her electric car. You guys realize that like 50% of the people that bought into this electric car hype, that tried to take advantage of all the rebates and everything, are wanting to go back to gas-powered vehicles because they've seen all of the horror stories about people in electric vehicles being stuck in winter storms, etc., about how if you don't charge them properly, it's just like any other battery, and it'll only hold the charge for so long if you don't do it just right. And if you've had your phone for longer than a couple of years and you haven't followed that manual to the letter, you know what I'm talking about right now. These are the things that nobody talks about. This is why the green energy stuff is a joke. Do you guys realize that there is a plane now that has been created that flies on hydrogen? Now, I understand one of the first things I thought was, we've tried airborne hydrogen things before, they didn't work so well. But at the same time, if we can do it with a plane, we can do it with a car. And we know this. Israel showed Barack Obama, how many years ago was that? Israel showed the Obama administration a car engine that ran on water. But Rick, water's a finite resource. No, it's actually not nearly as finite as anybody wants you to think it is, because they've now made machines that can pull the moisture out of the air and turn it into water that you can drink and use for other things. The problem that we have, ladies and gentlemen, is we have all of the technology that we need right now to make things better for everyone, but nobody wants to give it up. I mean, here's the thing. If we're going to live in a country that has one of the highest tax rates per capita in the world, and we still do, whether anybody wants to tell you we do or not, because everybody's top line taxes seem a lot smaller everywhere else, or here, than everywhere else. But then you've got the city, the local, and the sales tax that just eat your lunch on top of everything else. So if we're going to live in a country that all combined has one of the largest tax rate in the world, why are we not taking care of our people at home? If I'm going to live in a socialist country, then I expect the people that I am forking money over to be taken care of here locally. If we're not going to do away with taxation, because I still firmly believe that taxation is 100% theft all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. If we're not going to get rid of it, then why are we not taking care of our people at home? You know, we shouldn't have homeless veterans. These people are the reason we are able to pretend we are free. We're about to do that next month. We're about to celebrate the country's birthday again. So for a few minutes, everybody gets together, sets off fireworks, unless you're not allowed to do that anymore. And now there's certain municipalities that are doing laser light shows instead because they're safer. You're not nearly as free as you think you are. And I've been explaining this over and over and over again on the afternoon show because once they passed the amendment that allowed us to be taxed, we became the batteries funding the very machine that a lot of us are now trying to fight, and they're never going to give that up. But then this goes back to something else that I saw over the last week, 10 days. When Donald Trump first started talking about no taxes on tips, I could not imagine a single conservative person throwing a fit about that. I now have people that I follow on X that I consider friends that are mad because if servers shouldn't have to pay their taxes, they shouldn't have to pay their taxes either. I'm like, I agree with you. But this is still a baby step in the right direction. So let's take the baby step, shall we? Can we take the baby step? Sorry, I forgot I was sharing my screen. Let me fix that. But let's take the baby step. Can we take the baby step? Can we take the small step in the right direction instead of arguing about whether it's the right step in the right direction or not? Because it is a right step in the right direction. It is. And that's just the truth of it. Taxation needs to go away. I know most of us that are in the chat, and even me, I mean, I just turned 51, so I have no memory of this, but I remember my granddad telling me when he was a kid that, you know, if the government wanted money, they had to come to you hat in hand and ask you for it. Because they had to tell you what project it was that they were trying to fund, specifically tell you what they were going to be using the money for, and then you had the option to buy the bonds to fund it or not. We really need to get back to that because as soon as they started being able to get into our checks without our permission, they stopped working for us. And I'm going to say that about every single one of them that are in DC right now. Even the ones that I agree with 90% of the time, at the end of the day, they're not in it for you and me. If they were, the things that they gripe about every day would already be fixed. But you know why they're not? Because if they started fixing what was broken, we wouldn't need them anymore and we wouldn't be giving them nearly as much money. And then they make everything seem more broken than it actually is. You guys thought about how much money we actually pour into our government on a daily basis? Have you actually thought about that? A lot of us don't because we get some back at the end of the year or it just comes out of our paychecks and we don't really think anything about it until we get, to the end of the year and have to file taxes. You guys know I'm being audited for the first time ever? Haven't told anybody yet, but I'm being audited for the first time ever. State of Oklahoma suddenly decided that I didn't file a tax return for the year of 2019, even though they gave me money. So now I'm having to fight with them and prove to them that I actually did file a tax return, that it was filed in a timely manner, and that by the time it was all said and done, they actually owed me a little bit of money, not the other way around. But I'm having to fight them at every single turn. Because money. This is what I'm talking about. This is the control that our government has over you. Because at any point in time, they can come to you and say, hey, our records show you didn't do this. And then you have to prove it. Ironically enough, they are just at the deadline for the 5-year mark. And now they're coming at me saying, we don't show that you filed a return for this year. and you didn't supply to us in a timely manner that you did so. So now this is what you owe us. And I'm like, oh no, I sent this information in. Here's the proof that I sent it. So now I'm waiting to see what happens with that. Your government is not your friend. For those of you that are currently living on the government dole, I'm not judging you, but I'm telling you, you need to figure out how to get off of it, and you need to do it now, because our government is not going to be able to keep taking care of you the way that it has been, because it is dying. It is dying slowly and painfully, but it is dying. And unfortunately, the dying part is going to be happening a lot sooner than anybody wants to anticipate, because they have had control of everything for far too long. And by they, I mean everybody on both sides. This is why Donald Trump was fought against so hard 2015, 2016, and even in 2017 and 2018. He couldn't get anything done because even his own party was trying to fight him for the things that he was trying to do. And he was not prepared for that. And that's just the truth of it. Now, you can be mad at me about everything that you're saying if you want. It doesn't matter. It's still the truth. You can be mad at me about talking about taxes because there are other things that everybody thinks we should be talking about. But if we would cut the cord and get rid of these people having instant access to our paychecks, they wouldn't be able to do half the things that they're doing right now without coming to you hat in hand and saying, please, sir, may I have some more? But nobody wants to talk about that anymore because it's so much easier just to have this whole set it and forget it thing. I mean, how many of us have all these things set up on auto pay that we never give a second thought until all of a sudden one of our bills is 3 times higher than what we expected it to be, and the bank's like, hey, this isn't going to go through, and then all of a sudden you're like, what why is this? And then that's when you finally start figuring out that something's gone sideways. This is why I think we really should have to pay our taxes every month. I think we should have to physically figure it out, and we should have to send a payment to the federal government and to the state government every month. And then at the end of the year, they figure out if we've overpaid or not, and then they send it back. Because if we were having to do it ourselves, we would have already started fighting. But since we don't have to, since it's all pretty much automated now, and because there's all these programs that help you do it, and then you usually get money back at the end of the year, especially if you've got little bundles of deductions, then nobody cares anymore. Nobody thinks about it. Nobody talks about it. They just go on about their day, and they let the government do whatever the government's going to do with our money. And then an election comes along and everybody's like, wait, why are we spending money on this? Why are we spending money on that? Why is nobody doing anything about the border? Because you weren't paying attention and because they don't care. That's why. All right, we're going to take a quick break. You are listening to the America Off the Rails show, a bonus edition, live right here on KLRN Radio. And we will be back in just a second as soon as I remember that I didn't load a bumper. So I need to do that now. Because, yeah, fun times. Anyway. And we'll do this one. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back, keep things rolling here. Got just about another segment of the show left on the Wednesday Night Chat Lives Banner Night here live on KLRN Radio. We are America's Podcast Network. Stay tuned.
Taking their time right behind my back, and I'm talking to myself at night because I can't forget. Back and forth through my mind behind a cigarette, and a message coming from my eyes says leave it alone.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq, Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, Think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is, if getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now, 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Hi, everyone. This is JJ, the co-founder of Good Pods. If you haven't heard of it yet, Good Pods is like Goodreads or Instagram, but for podcasts. It's new, it's social, it's different, and it's growing really fast. There are more than 2 million podcasts, and we know that it is impossible to figure out what to listen to. On Good Pods, you follow your friends and podcasters to see what they like. That is the #1 way to discover new shows and episodes. You can find Good Pods on the web or download the app. Happy listening.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Celebrity designer Jeff Lewis is back with Hollywood House Lift.
I'm excited to be working with new clients.
I'm not getting rid of that.
I hope I never see you both again.
An all-new season.
Those have to go. That has to go.
From oh, wow,
It's been an actual nightmare.
to oh, wow.
This is such an upgrade.
With celebrities like Josh Duhamel, Christina Ricci, and Gina Rodriguez.
Dazzle me, Jeff.
It looks like Chuck E. Cheese.
Stream an all-new season of Hollywood House Lift with Jeff Lewis, now streaming on Freevee.
I'm Jordan Klinger, an attorney at McIntyre Law. The decision to hire an attorney after you've been injured is important. The decision on who to hire is even more important. At McIntyre Law, we will settle a case if the offer to our client is fair. Partial justice is no justice at all. At McIntyre Law, we are committed to obtaining full justice for our clients. Contact McIntyre Law at 405-917-5200 or visit us at mcintyrelaw.com.
The following program contains coarse language and adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
I'm gonna fight them all. A 7-nation army couldn't hold me back. They're gonna rip it off, taking their time right behind my back. And I'm talking to myself at night because I can't forget. Back and forth through my mind behind a cigarette. And a message coming from my eyes says leave it
And welcome back into the final segment of the Wednesday edition of the America Off the Rails show. That's right. This is usually Sunday nights, but we had an opening, and I haven't been able to do much of my programming during the daytime this week, so we've decided to do a special episode of the America Off the Rails show live right here on KLRN Radio. We are America's podcast network. And since we're back, let me start changing some things around here because I just realized I've not done that yet. So, all right. So camera's back on. For those of you who don't want to see my face, you can look away. It's all right. I don't like to look at my face either, if I'm being honest. But everybody says to do this kind of stuff, you got to start transitioning towards video. So that's what we're going to do. Well, that, and I'm actually kind of proud of the fact that I've lost 60 pounds in about 6 months. I plateaued a bit. I was at 50 for a while, and then it's taken me about another 2 months to lose the last 10, but I'm still making downward progress, so I'm going to take it. At the height of COVID, I was up to 315 pounds. I lost a lot of it during my divorce, and then a lot of it came back once things settled down from the divorce. So I've made some changes to how I do things. They're not a sponsor or an advertiser with us yet, but if you haven't done so yet, I do actually encourage you to check out a couple of things. First thing, at my age, I have been having to start taking some supplements that help in boosting testosterone. So I'll be talking about those things in the coming weeks to let you guys know what it is that I take and how often I take them. Unfortunately, their name is escaping me at the moment because I'm really, really tired. And I usually have them sitting right here with me so I don't sound stupid when I'm trying to plug a product. But I can't think of them right now. So anyway, never mind. The other thing I will say, and I didn't take it tonight because I honestly wasn't sure how long we were going to be on. But I will say that something that actually is a product that is a sponsor partner with us now is W Energy. If you've been looking for new ways to get your energy drink fix, because if you're anything like me, caffeine is life. I'm just saying. I actually have modified a saying that my alcoholic uncle used to say: there is too much blood in my alcohol stream. Years ago, I started saying there was too much blood in my caffeine stream, and everybody started looking at me like I was crazy. But when you've spent most of your adult life putting in 18, 19, 20-hour days with 2 hours of drive time back and forth from somewhere and about a 2-hour nap, then caffeine is life. And that's something that's never really gone away from me. So for the longest time, I was doing coffee and monsters and everything else. I'm not saying what I'm doing now is that much better, but I have noticed that since I've changed over to W, I'm down to about a half a pot of coffee a day instead of at one point what was two pots a day. Yes, I said what I said, not 2 cups, 2 pots. So W.GG, if you're looking for new ways to get your energy fix on or even hydration, they do offer both of those. They have powder form. They even have canned forms now for those of you that like, the whole canned energy drink vibe. And if you want to check them out, you can always go check out what they have. If you find anything you want to order in the promo code section, just put Rowdy Rick. You'll get 10% off. I think they have some specials going on right now too, so you might be able to stack them. So go forth, check out their website, w.gg. And then I think that'll be the only plug I will do for tonight, because the other one I was going to plug that isn't even a sponsor of mine yet, even though I have the picture, they're right in my head. I can't think of their name. Anyway, you guys have probably seen their commercials on Fox News, so you know what I'm talking about. It's the fruits and vegetables ones. I've been taking those now for a few months. For me, I will say I've noticed a better outcome when I take them at night. I think it's because I have spent so many years treating my body like stuff that giving it fresh nutrients right before I go to sleep has been helping with repair and everything else. And it usually helps me wake up and not feel quite so meh. So if you're like me and you do lots of things that you probably shouldn't do and don't eat right, don't exercise enough, if you do decide to start taking those, I would probably recommend starting to take them at night, as long as you can sleep at least 6 hours. If not, it probably won't help much either way. Anyway, everybody's leaving me in the chat. This is why I don't like doing late shows. All right, so if you're listening to us live, no matter where you're listening from, you can always come hang out and comment through X. You can also comment through Rumble, Facebook, and YouTube. Now, depending on what stream you're watching from, you actually have to pay attention to the chat on the video to be able to interact, unless there's a lot of people in there with you. We've been running into that lately when we have the multi-stream thing going on. So, but that's why normally if there's a semi-active chat at all, we'll have it on the screen. All right, so I told you guys we were going to be getting into the whole Bowman thing, but I've got one more quick hit that I want to take on the way there, and that is this. So this is from Blaze Media again, and this is Adam Kinzinger, believe it or not, declares that as a proud conservative, he's endorsing President Biden. I don't think Adam Kinzinger would know what a conservative was if one came up and kicked him into Jimmy. Kinzinger claimed that Trump doesn't care about our country. Really? So you're literally watching this other guy sell us down the river in every way possible, but Trump's the one that doesn't care about the country. Anyway, so former Rep. Adam Kinzinger, who served more than a decade in Congress as a Republican from Illinois, has announced that as a proud conservative, he is endorsing incumbent Democratic President Joe Biden for re-election. Kinzinger declares that it is because of my unwavering support for democracy that today, as a proud conservative, I am endorsing none other than Joseph Biden. Dude, you're too old for him. He's not. He's not. It's not gonna happen, bro. I know what you want to happen. Everybody knows what you want to happen, but it is not gonna happen. It's just not. Okay, so that didn't work either. Hang on. Well, that takes me off camera, but makes it bigger for you guys. Let's do this one. Anyway, sorry, I'm trying to figure out some of the screen placement because I want as big of a screen as possible for tomorrow. Yeah, that doesn't really work well either. What about this one? Although it would be bigger if I would get rid of the chat, but I don't really want to do that either. Okay, sorry, I'm done playing with the layout. Sorry, guys. Just trying to figure things out here. And I guess that one is already pretty much as big as I can get it on that side. So anyway, so Kinzinger declared that it is because of my unwavering support for democracy that today, as a proud conservative, I'm endorsing Joe Biden for re-election. I don't know very many conservatives that don't understand that we are a republic and democracy is now the new code word and dog whistle for communism. Anyway, he said that while he does not agree with President Biden on everything, I know that he will always protect the very thing that makes America the best country in the world, our democracy. Donald Trump poses a direct threat to every fundamental American value. He doesn't care about our country. He doesn't care about you. He only cares about himself, and he'll hurt anyone or anything in pursuit of power. Yeah, so this is what putting your country before your party looks like. I'm grateful for your endorsement, Adam. A tweet on the President Joe Biden X account reads. GOP Senator Mike Lee of Utah responded to the endorsement by pointing out that you can't be conservative and support Joe Biden. Kinzinger said last year that in a race between Trump and Biden, he would vote for Biden, noting that he thinks Biden is a good man who is focused on the Constitution. He's focused on the Constitution, all right. Focused on destroying the Constitution. Kinzinger described himself on X as a proud rhino and includes American, Ukrainian, and Israeli flag emojis next to his name on the social media platform. He also includes the phrase Slava Ukraini, which means glory to Ukraine. Okay. While in office, Kinzinger was one of the 10 House Republicans who voted in favor of impeaching then President Donald Trump on the heels of the January 6th Capitol riot in 2021. So, in other words, you have not now, nor have you ever been an actual conservative, you lying hack. Oh, wait, did I say that out loud? My bad. All right, so I'm going to take a little bit of a different angle than everybody else as far as the whole AOC thing or the whole Bowman thing, because AOC has thoughts and words about Bowman, which I thought would be kind of interesting to go into since she threw him under a bus. So let's bring this up for you guys to be able to see at least part of it. AOC finally weighed in on Jamal Bowman's loss. There's just a major problem, and it gets worse. This is from Rebecca Downs, June 26, 2024, 3:45 p.m. from Town Hall. So on Tuesday night, soon to be Rep. Jamal Bowman, Democrat in New York, lost his primary, which was a blow to many of his fellow squad members as well. Among those closest to Bowman had been Rep. Alexander Ocasio-Cortez, or as I like to call her, the occasional Cortex, Democrat in New York, who handily won her own race a little after noon on Wednesday. AOC posted an image of herself and her colleague. Although she went to tag the congressman, she ended up tagging the wrong account. The @Jamal Bowman account in question that was tagged hasn't posted since August 18th of 2012. The account has no profile picture and is only following 22 accounts and has a total of 64 followers. The user's bio contains several hashtags in addition to reading "just ordinary girl" and "storm cheerleader," storm cheerleader, share leader, I guess. The account also says it's based in Germany. Oops. Just over 3 hours later, the post has thousands of replies and hundreds of quoted posts with users mocking AOC and Bowman, in addition to pointing out her embarrassing error. AOC likely meant to tag at JAMAAL Bowman New York account, which is his political account, and unfortunately failed to do so. But the interesting thing about all of this, and I talked about this a little bit with Amish tonight, is AOC was pretty masterful because she made Bowman feel like she was trying to help him by convincing him to come stump in her district and get everybody ginned up. And that's when you heard the whole, we're going to show APAC and the whole profanity laden thing, which glass house, no throwing stones for me, just being honest. Because the thing that drives me crazy about that is, or the only thing I guess that irritated me about him saying, I can't help having a foul mouth because you're coming after me, you're coming after my kids, you're doing this, you're doing that. He was one of the loudest people screaming about Donald Trump's mouth on social media and how he used profanity all the time. And I'm like, so, you don't think he's using it a lot and being a lot more boisterous because he feels like everybody's coming after him and coming after his family? I mean, that was my only issue with it. But back to what I was talking about a moment ago, AOC was very masterful. She got him to come stump in her district and then left him hanging when it was her turn to come do it in his district. But Orty pointed this out. I was going to say the same thing before he said it first. She was already starting to see the early return numbers. Because remember, Democrats like to vote by mail. They vote early. They vote often. It's what they do. So some of those early return numbers and even the day of return numbers for people that voted early were already starting to come in because they knew. And so all of a sudden you could kind of see the tentacles of the Democratic Party pulling away from Jamal Bowman. And I don't care if you like the guy. I don't care if you dislike the guy. Having been somebody who has chased dreams before, I can kind of understand why he was as mad as he was. I think he's nuts. I'm going to be completely honest. I think he's nuts. I think anybody who wants to compare Hamas to Israel is nuts. I don't care who they are. Anybody who wants to put those two things on the same playing field, toe to toe, and try to treat them as if they're equal is nuts. And I've been going through this on my feed now for weeks because I will have random people just start coming in and start talking to me about why Israel isn't protecting Hamas's children or Palestine's children or Gaza's children, because it's not Israel's job. The Gazans overwhelmingly elected Hamas as their leadership and then watched Hamas strip away their voting rights and have done nothing about it. Most of them still vocally support the people that they voted for, even though most of them are so young they didn't never even get a chance to vote for them. So you guys tell me where the disconnect is. You guys tell me where the broken stuff is, because this is exactly what happened with Jamal Bowman. The guy was made a laughingstock when he pulled the fire alarm to try to stop a vote after screaming and yelling about how disrupting a congressional proceeding is an impeachable offense and everybody should be fired and roasted and whatever the hell else that he said. And then he did the very same thing. This same guy is screaming and yelling at Jewish people for fundraising against him when he's coming out in favor of the very people that are killing their friends and family back home. This was a dumb thing to do. This was a dumb thing to say. And I know how fractured and broken the Democratic Party is. But at the end of the day, there are a lot more Jewish people that are pissed off at Hamas than the ones that are clutching pearls and saying, we don't want this, not in my name. Yeah, no. The ones with the money, the ones with the clout, they want Hamas gone. That's why all the younglings are coming out against it, because it's cool to be against whatever your parents are for. It's like you guys have forgotten about how any of this works. The problem that we're running into now is the counterculture has gone insane for the left. The counterculture on the right is square by comparison. We want people getting married. We want people living the American dream. We want people having kids. We want people being able to afford to pay their bills. We want all the things everybody took for granted in the 50s. And I'm going to, as we get ready to close out the night, I'm going to remind you guys that the biggest psyop they ever pulled on the American people was that men and women should both be able to work. Not because they shouldn't have the right to do it if they wanted to, but because it put the idea in women's minds that they were inferior to men because they weren't working. When in reality, it was just another way for them to extend their tax base. That's all it was. If both people in the home are working, then we get even more tax revenue. Oh, and since they're married, we can even give them a tax penalty. Have you guys ever stopped to think about that? You're married. You're hopefully having kids to keep the country running in the future, and your government is penalizing you for getting married. If you ever wanted to know exactly how broken everything is, there's your entire synopsis in like 30 seconds. When they are penalizing you for getting married, you know the government is no longer on your side. This is what the referendum is about tomorrow. While we all sit back and laugh and do our debate bingos and see what happens, and the over-under on whether or not Joe Biden can stay on his feet for 90 minutes, the over-under on whether Joe Biden can stay awake for 90 minutes, the over-under in Vegas about whether he shits his pants or not. Will Donald Trump go nuclear on the debate stage? All of those things are things that we need to watch for. But while we're watching for those things, we also need to be listening to the answers to the questions that they're being asked. Because I don't know about you guys, and I've been saying this for a long time. If you take the last year of Trump's presidency away and the first year of Biden's presidency away and look at them evenly and equally, we were much better off the first 3 years of Donald Trump than we are the last 3 years of Joe Biden. Now, you can listen to all the numbers about, well, oh my God, Donald Trump had the worst employment record ever. Yeah, that's because the entire world shut down. So our people followed suit. Are there things that I think Donald Trump needs to answer for regarding COVID? Yes. That will always be 100 times, 1,000% yes. But he's still the best option that we currently have available to get us out of this mess. You don't have to like the guy. That's just it. Depending on what it is that you're trying to get somebody to do, you don't always hire the nice guy. We need a leg breaker right now because too much stuff is broken. This is one of the reasons why I got so mad at Trump in 2020, because when we started seeing all the pieces coming together and we started realizing how much of the COVID crap was a psyop and how much of it was about them trying to see how long they could keep us sequestered and how many of our rights they could take away before we would start throwing a fit about it. I mean, just trust me. Just take a second. Go back and remember what it felt like to be in those moments and watch all of these reports coming out. All of the things that we now know about how they knew masking really didn't do anything, but they wanted to give people a placebo effect to make them feel better. How they knew social distancing wasn't really a thing. How they knew that, eventually the only reason they even started the masking thing was because they thought it was transmitted through droplets, and then they figured out that it wasn't. So why didn't they fix that? Why did they never come out and say, hey, we have new data, so masking isn't really going to help. You guys should, do whatever you're going to do. But they didn't do that. You know why they didn't do that? Because it was about control. Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the points that I've been trying to make for as long as I have been doing shows like this one. And this is one of the longest running ones that I've ever done. Granted, it's been moved around a lot. It's taken breaks. It's taken hiatuses. It's changed labels. But this is one of the longest running podcasts that I've ever done. I've been doing this one since 2013. This is one of the longest running ones that I've ever done. And the theme of this one has never changed. The government is not your friend. They're going to try to convince you they are. They're going to try to convince you that they have your best interests at heart when the truth is that they do not. So when you understand that, and when you are looking at the choices that are in front of you, it's not about who's going to be able to best take care of you. It's about who's going to be able to help you best take care of yourself. That's what you need to be looking for tomorrow night while you're watching this debate. Who is going to get out of your way and let you live your life? Now, each is going to be a varying degree difference there because Donald Trump has some authoritarian bent. I'm not going to try to pretend that he doesn't. Joe Biden has a lot more authoritarian bent. Nobody wants to admit it because he comes across like a soft, affable grandpa half the time until you piss him off. Which, if Donald Trump is smart, he will focus on policy tomorrow night. If Donald Trump is smart, anytime they try to steer him towards 2020 or January 6th, he's going to be like, look, dude, it's 2024. We need to talk about the things that are going on today. This is what I'm going to do to make sure people have more money in their pockets. This is what I'm going to do to close the border. This is what I'm going to do to make sure that we continue to bring jobs back to this country, which I was doing like a madman before COVID. These are the things that he needs to focus on. Is he going to focus on them? I don't really know the answer to that question. I wish I did, but I don't. Because he's a wild card. And it's going to be entertaining to watch in one way or the other. It's either going to be a complete train wreck and it's going to be great for popcorn, or we're going to finally get some substance from somewhere for once. I'm thinking popcorn. I just am. All right. Well, believe it or not, folks, that is going to pretty much do it for this particular episode of the America Off the Rails show. I am Rick Robinson. I'll be back with you tomorrow afternoon doing the Rick Robinson show, which I normally do Monday through Friday between the hours of 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. Eastern. However, this week has been a bit of an oddity, although I have been having a few of those lately, unfortunately. So we're doing a short schedule this week, so I'll do Thursday, Friday. I'm off Saturday, back Sunday night doing this one, 10 p.m. Eastern. Friday night, I'll be here doing He Said, She Said with Aggie Regan, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Monday, back around doing the Rick Robinson show, and then so that one will be Monday through Friday next week, assuming I can finally get some of the behind-the-scenes stuff taken care of, that every time I think I've gotten everything taken care of, something else goes sideways. But hey, this is what happens when you're trying to build a network. All right. Anyway, we have reached the point where I do have to tell you that this particular show is over. That's really quiet. That shouldn't be that quiet. Hang on. Oh, I know why. Let me fix it. My bad. Had one of the sliders off. All right, let's try that again. Now we're going to close.
What? Over? Did you say over? Nothing is over until we decide it is. Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? Hell no!
Closing time. Open all the doors and let you out into the world. This isn't over until I say it's over! Closing time.
Well, that's great. That's just fucking great, man. Now what the fuck are we we supposed to do? Game over, man. Game over.
Closing time for you to go out to the places you will be from. Closing time, this room won't be open till your brothers or your sisters come.
I love you, Oklahoma. What a great crowd. I love you.